award for everybody who won their region was you got to go meet the mayor. At that time, it was Coleman Young.
Yeah.
And so we all lined up, all the region winners with our mamas and daddies. My mother, it was just me and my mother. And we lined up, and then you go to the door of the Manugian Mansion, and then you go to the door and you shake Coleman Young's hand. I guess it was like 7 regions, so it was like 7 of us. And you shook his hand and you took a picture. And when I went in there and I shook his hand, he knew my mom. He remembered my mom. Oh, man, Carolyn, this your boy? He's a big fella. Oh, man, big fella, you could be mayor one day. Now, I heard what he said, but to me, he said, big fella, you're going to be mayor one day. So I heard that. So when I got back in the car, I said, Ma, did you hear what he said? She said, yeah, baby, I heard him. He said, I'm going to be mayor one day. She said, that's what he said. I said, that's what he said. So she told the whole family that this is what I thought he said.
Yeah.
So from that time, 5th, 6th grade, 7th, one day I'm going to be mayor of Detroit. For me, it was the dream job.
Kwame, my dog, what's happening, big dog?
Nothing much, bro. What's happening?
Chilling, man. Just, I feel like I've been chasing you for years, man.
No, not years.
Well, you know what? Chasing you from a fan perspective because, largely when I was coming up, you were very much visible, especially when it comes to, being in the city and, growing and being raised in a city and growing up, going to Cass Tech and stuff like that. You were a very, very prominent person. And so, I've always kind of just been, I don't know, just a fan, just in awe of you as a person. You know what I'm saying? So I guess my thing is, this is one of my grill interviews. Yeah. Of all the people that I've interviewed, Lamar Odoms and all of these different people, you are a grill interview for me. So I'm just happy to have you here. I appreciate you coming.
Appreciate being here. Appreciate you, man.
Absolutely.
I actually checked out a few.
Did you?
Of the interviews. Yeah. Me and wifey looked at them last night. And so I
can only tell which ones, man.
I'm not going to tell you to after. Yeah. We don't, but we appreciate what you do. I just like the flavor. I like the fact you said organic before. It's kind of the real organic, and you change it depending on who you're talking to.
Yeah.
I don't know if you realize, but you do. You have a natural gift to be able to meet that person.
You are, one of the things that I'm a fan of is your ability to orate. Like, do you think that that's just like a God-given talent gift, or is that something that you had to mine out and kind of manifest, kind of, you know what I'm saying, make it out to be something a little bit greater, or is that something that you've just been gifted with since you was born?
I think the seed of it was there since I was born, but I do believe that people come in your life to water the seed. A lot of us have God-given gifts that have never manifested because nobody said, hey, man, you got that.
Yeah.
Miss Elaine Scott Rainey at Cass Technical High School.
Shout out to Cass Tech.
Yeah, she. I took a public speaking class as an elective, and she was the teacher, 10th grade. And I go in there, and she told me to do a speech. Now, nobody ever called me up to do no speech, so it was very interesting. And I went up there, and I was trying to read it, and she said, "No, I want you, when you come back tomorrow." She handed me the "I Have a Dream" speech.
Really?
And she said, "When you come back tomorrow, I want you to speak this week. You're going to be Kwame Luther King." That's what she said, right? So I said, "All right." So I went home and practiced it. I was practicing in front of my sister and my mother and all this. I said, I got to go back and do this speech.
Yeah.
You know? And I went in there and I did, I say to you today, my friend. She was like, no, I want Kwame Luther King. I'll say to you today, my friend. So I went to doing that. And when I finished, the class clapped. And I said, man, I like this. It was only about 15 people in the class. But I said, okay, I like this. And after class, she told me, this is what you can do. And that's why it's so important that those kind of people in your life. So shout out to Miss Rainey. I went to see her as soon as I got out.
Really?
I went over her house. She's still right here in Detroit. And, told her thank you again. Because I taught a public speaking class for 4.5 years in the joint. And so
really?
a lot of those guys are out here doing very well because they know how to engage.
That's pretty incredible. So let me start from the beginning, right? Mm-hmm. You born and raised in Detroit?
Born and raised in Detroit.
Okay. And then what high school? Like what middle school and then high school?
Fairbanks Elementary School. It's closed now, right there on the John C. Lodge in Sewell.
Yep.
And then I went to Pelham Middle School, right over on Myrtle and 12th over there.
Okay.
And I finished at Dwight Rich in Lansing. My mother won the state rep race. I wasn't doing so well at Pelham. And so I went there for half of 7th and 8th in Lansing. And then I came back to Cass Tech.
And then you played football.
I played football at Cass, got a football scholarship to Florida A&M University.
Were you like a jock? Or were you more like in between, or you were just
I was always in between.
Really?
Yeah, because I played basketball and football at Cass. So
you tall enough? How tall are you?
I'm about 6'4".
Man, listen, bro, I would see you, like, back when you were mayor, and obviously back then it was just, impossible to even get close to you or whatever, unless you was at an event that was sanctioned by it. But I was a kid, you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like I had a car or nothing like that. And it would just seem like you was just I don't know if it was a combination of your aura and height, but you was just like bigger than life. It was like you was just, in my mind and our mind and me and my wife mind, because I've known her since I was 14 years old.
Okay.
Been married for 18 years.
Wow.
What I was about to say, I've been married since I was 22 for 18 years, right?
Yeah. She was watching that though. I saw her.
She was, but it was just like you was just like the biggest celebrity for us. Like, I never cared about rappers or anything like that. For us, you was just like
straight up
I honest to God, like, you were my guy.
Wow, that's deep.
I got letters that I wrote that I never sent to you.
Man, I'd like to see them now. That'd be good.
I literally have letters that I never sent to you. And so you graduated from Cass and then you got a scholarship. Did you know what you wanted to do for a living when you wound up going to college, or is that something that just kind of, because I know that you come from a family. Back in high school?
Since I was 10 years old.
Really? Why?
When I was 10 years old, I won the Region 1 Black Studies Contest at Fairbanks. And the award for everybody who won their region was you got to go meet the mayor. At that time, it was Coleman Young.
Yeah.
And so we all lined up, all the region winners with our mamas and daddies. My mother, it was just me and my mother. And we lined up, and then you go to the door of the Manugian Mansion, and then you go to the door and you shake Coleman Young's hand. I guess it was like 7 regions, so it was like 7 of us. And you shook his hand and you took a picture. And when I went in there and I shook his hand, he knew my mom. He remembered my mom. Oh, man, Calvin, this your boy? He's a big fella. Oh, man, big fella, you could be mayor one day. Now, I heard what he said, but to me, he said, big fella, you're going to be mayor one day. So I heard that. So when I got back in the car, I said, Ma, did you hear what he said? She said, yeah, baby, I heard him. He said, I'm going to be mayor one day. She said, that's what he said. I said, that's what he said. So she told the whole family that this is what I thought he said.
Yeah.
So from that time, 5th, 6th grade, 7th, one day I'm going to be mayor of Detroit. For me, it was the dream job.